The one that got away is the Prime Video series that explores what if your soulmate is someone that you have already met. The show brings singles together along with their misconnections from their past and to see what happens. We've got Alex and Jeff here to chat all about this season. First of all, let's go ahead and say, you had to keep a secret all the way up until episode 10, and now you can post about your relationship. So first of all, congratulations.
Thank you. It was actually kind of fun. I'm not going to lie.
You posted you went on a date night last night. What did you guys do? And then tell me a little bit about that date.
Well, we started at an event called Peep Show. That was
Interesting.
something.
But they had spicy margaritas, so it was okay.
That was good. And then we went to Little Italy for dinner, had some wine, tequila, and it was great.
Alex, when you were going on the show, obviously Jeff didn't know you were going to be on there, but you knew, why you were going. Did you come in with a strategy, or did you think as far as like, here's what I'm going to say, or here's what I'm going to do? Or were you like, I'm just going to be myself and see what happens?
No, I didn't really go in with strategy. We know each other really well. So I kind of just went in thinking, we were going to have hard conversations that we didn't have before. So that was scary, but not necessarily a strategy. I just, thought our connection would lead the way.
Jeff, as far as the people from your past, because we get to meet someone that you met when you were a teenager, someone in Las Vegas when you were, in your early 20s, someone that you had a professional relationship with, at work. What was it like to kind of explore this? I think oftentimes people think like, I wonder what'll happen with this, or this person is cute and we never explored this, but to actually have to be face to face with them, what was that experience like for you?
Well, the weird thing was for me is some of these people I obviously haven't seen since I was like 16 or 21 or whatever, like you said. And so I was surprised and I was not mentally prepared for this. But when those people come through, it kind of brings you back to who you were at that time, which like when I saw Claude, for example, it brought me back to being like in the closet and like what that felt like. And I haven't felt like that in so many years. And so I don't think I was prepared for like the emotional aspect that like seeing someone's face from a chapter in your life that you're no longer in would bring back these like crazy feelings. I was like, this is so weird.
Alex, I want to let you know that I am assuming men, women, gay, straight, bi, everything in between, the moment that Jeff had said, the reason, Alex and I were such great friends, and then he jetted me off to Paris because I had mentioned it. And the way that people all looked at you at that point, do you realize that they were like, if Jeff doesn't take you, somebody else is going to ASAP?
Well, thank you. I hope he knew that.
It was a great trip.
It was a great trip. Yeah.
It was a great trip.
And especially as a travel blogger, tell us a little bit about, some of the trips that you're thinking about right now, some things that you guys are planning together, and just, maybe kind of travel, in 2022.
Yeah, I mean, Alex and I have been pretty much everywhere together over the past 3 years. So, I mean, I think our favorite place we went to was Australia, and they're hosting World Pride in 2023. So we definitely want to go back to Sydney for February 2023 for World Pride. One place I really, really want to go to, which I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to get there, is Antarctica.
Talks about it all the time.
Because I want to say I've been to all 7 continents when I turn 30, and so I'm about to turn 30, so I've got a year to get there.
Alex, are you in for that trip? You were like nodding your head. Are you in for Antarctica?
I'm definitely in for Antarctica, and I hope we go just so he can stop talking about
it. Reason enough for the plane ticket enough. Reason enough, right? I do want to talk a little bit about the other contestants, because everybody else had, connections, there was one person who had a follower on Instagram who ended up coming, who got sent right back to the portal. There's a marriage proposal. There's just so many like varying degrees of people and their connections, to people from their past. Jeff, let me go ahead and start with you. Did you learn anything from the other singles going through the same journey? Like, did you feel like, oh my goodness, I'm not alone in this journey, or something you learned about, or does everybody still keep in touch?
So I actually felt, I don't want to say pressure, but I also felt like, why is this process not working for me? And not to give too much away, but like, obviously I have an emotional breakdown halfway through the season. And in that moment, it was definitely partially because I was watching all these other relationships going so well and starting. And I'm like, why am I not there? And so I think there was that aspect of you're comparing the other relationships and you're so happy for them, but then you're also like, why is it working for them and why is it not working for me?
And Alex, for you, as far as, you may say, I have these feelings for Jeff. I want to go there and explore to see what's going to happen. But then you meet other people who are also looking for Jeff's attention, at the same time too. Does that bring out a different emotion in you? Because obviously there's one thing to just have feelings for one person, but when you are in front of, someone else's face also competing, does that kind of change how you feel?
I think it was definitely interesting, especially because some of the people I saw that were there for Jeff, I personally knew also from New York. So it was exciting to be like, oh, I have a friend here in this crazy world that is so, different than home. But also it's like, what are you doing here? Like, don't you know, haven't you seen us out together? So,
that was a funny line. Yeah. No, that was a funny line when you were like, oh, I see a familiar face. And you're like, wait a minute, why are you here? So that's definitely something to watch out for. I do want to touch upon ghosting, because I think that is such a hard thing to go through in the dating world, where whether you reach out to someone or someone reaches out to you and that message gets completely ignored. So you either never know how a relationship ends or don't have any closure, or just, I'm not interested, great to meet you, best of luck. And Jeff, what was it like for you to have to close some of those doors?
I gotta say it was a little easier than maybe it appeared. No, I just think like, when you have a strong connection with somebody and when you don't. And I think the thing I loved about this is I got to give everybody a genuine chance. And, these dates were so romantic and beautiful and thought out, and we didn't have our phones. So it's just straight on like a one-on-one conversation with this person. And you really just sitting there, whether it's going to go somewhere and you have the potential, or you're better off as friends.
And then, Alex, I want to ask you, because you had heart surgery, so you weren't in a condition as far as like getting to meet somebody right at that point. There's your bravery scar, right there. But as far as being able to, connect with him, and obviously, when you first met, Jeff on an app, that's probably not information you wanted to share. Hey, I wasn't ignoring you. I wasn't trying to ghost you. I wasn't being shady. Like, here's what happened to me. Because people sometimes do have, other things going on.
It was definitely interesting. I'm definitely not shy about my heart surgery at all, so I had no problem talking about it. But I was kind of waiting for like a doctor clearance to tell me I was allowed to go to a bar, and he's like, "You need to come meet me right now." So it coincidentally happened to be the day my doctor cleared me to drink, so we were able to go. And I think I still had bandages on the scar when I was there.
Yeah, you were definitely still bleeding.
Yeah, still bleeding. So I don't know. I thought it was an interesting story.
And a final thing, real quickly here before we got to go, Betty, who hosts the show, were you big fans of hers, before the show, and what was it like to have her as part of this series?
I'm actually friends with one of her backup dancers, and so I've seen her twice in concert, and so I think I was the only one that like actually knew exactly who she was when she came through. And it was cool that I felt like we just already had this connection, so it was very easy to just kind of like be vulnerable with her and cry between her legs and just talk about everything we had to talk about.
And now you probably get front row seats every time she performs.
Better.
You'll be both better. Well, thank you so much for your time today. The One That Got Away, the Prime Video series, is now streaming, and then it's going to come to Amazon Freevee on July 29th. Alex and Jeff, thank you so much for your time today, and I'll look forward to seeing your adventures on Instagram.
Thank you very much.